in case you haven't noticed, it's an election year for the governor as well as many other statewide offices, and Democrat Jason Carter isn't the only thing incumbent Republican Nathan Deal has to worry about.
Our Claire Sims sat down with both of Deal's Republican challengers ahead of next week's gubernatorial debate. Here's her story.
It's great to be with y'all.
From round tables
Fine, thank you.
to kitchen tables, State School Superintendent John Barge and former Dalton Mayor David Pennington are hitting the campaign trail hard in their bids to represent conservatives in the November governor's race.
From the governor's office and specifically the budget, we have underfunded public education horribly.
From his farm in Kingston, Georgia, just east of Rome, Barge explains most of his platform centers around education and restoring the hundreds of millions of dollars state leaders have cut from public schools over the last decade.
I felt like I didn't have much of a choice but to step up and fight for education because the children in this state, 1.7 million that are in our public school system, need those teachers, they need those resources. And they need a state that believes in them and invests in them. Education and economic development are inextricably linked.
Barge tells potential voters that investing in education will pay dividends in economic development, preparing graduates for high-paying jobs and drawing businesses to Georgia for quality employees.
The governor claims we're the #1 state in the nation to do business. That's a nice claim, and unemployment's down. We're still higher than the national average. But with all of that, we are still 5th in the nation in poverty.
No state has ever created wealth by bribing foreign capitalists to put a plant here.
Pennington also takes issue with Nathan Deal's campaign message that the governor's leadership is making Georgia the #1 state for business. A small businessman himself, Pennington is running his campaign out of his second-floor Dalton insurance office. He says state tax breaks are a short-term draw for companies and believes the state should focus instead on limiting government barriers to growth.
You create wealth the way Dalton has, entrepreneurs starting their businesses, building their businesses, and paying Georgia taxes.
It may be that philosophy that has some calling Pennington the Tea Party candidate in the race, but he doesn't agree.
The political pundits love labeling people, for whatever reason, and that's what they want to label me as. I'm trying to get to the right of anybody. This is who I am. If you follow me at all over the last year or 5 years ago or when I'm mayor, I don't change positions. I've told people many times, if you like me today, you're going to like me tomorrow. If you don't like me today, you're not going to like me tomorrow either, because I'm not going to change.
Both men consider themselves to be the different choice in the Republican primary. Pennington says both Deal and Barge have made their careers in government, while he's made a life in spite of it. But Barge argues he's not a career candidate, having spent his time in education rather than political office.
I bring something different to the table, a good dose of reality, I suppose.
I love this state the same way I love the city, and I know we're heading in the wrong direction rapidly.
But Pennington and Barge are quick to admit their true opponent in the race is Governor Deal, and they hope their campaigns will show Georgia voters there's not just one person who can represent a conservative viewpoint in the general election.
People have a choice this election. I don't think incumbency, should give you a free ticket or a free pass, to a second term. I think you need to earn that.
Voters will decide whether they agree on May 20th. Claire Sims, GPB News.